Well, the United States announcing sanctions, this just in today, against two senior North Korean officials involved in the development of weapons of mass destruction, as North Korea's envoy at the UN wants Washington to back up the claim the North was behind the WannaCry ransomware attack, calling the allegation, quote, baseless provocation, claiming the United States is using it to create tension. Meantime, the attack infected hundreds of thousands of computers worldwide. John Hanna is senior counselor at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. He's also former national security advisor to Vice President Dick Cheney. Thank you so much for talking to us. First of all,
Thanks,
what do you make of the Treasury Department's newly announced sanctions, and will they make any difference?
Listen, I think it's all well and good to sanction individual North Korean officials, but I don't think anybody should fool themselves into believing this is going to make a major contributions to our efforts to get rid of North Korea's nuclear weapons. Far more important in that regard are going to be the types of measures we took last week to actually target North Korea's economy as a whole, which, if they were given enough time, could well bring that economy to its knees and trigger a real crisis in the Kim Jong-un regime. And right now, I think that's probably the only hope we have, short of launching a full-scale catastrophic war on the Korean Peninsula, of actually resolving this crisis.
Yeah, I mean, regarding a crisis, cyber warfare, and the WannaCry cyber attack, and whether or not there is evidence that would basically prove that publicly. I mean, so basically, this envoy wants the United States government to release any evidence proving that the North, in fact, did this. They deny it. What would be the disadvantage, first of all, to disclosing that evidence to back up the claim that Pyongyang was behind the attack?
First and foremost, I think we've got to be protecting absolutely critical intelligence sources and methods. We don't want to be revealing to anybody, especially in this new frontier of the cyber domain, all of the tricks of the trade that we have to discover what they're doing. So that would be my biggest concern. But I put absolutely no stock in these North Korean denials. They lie and deceive as easily as they breathe. But I would say that if we're going to make very serious national security claims and charges like this, to the extent we can, and we want to generate some degree of international support and legitimacy for actions we might take, we should be as transparent as we possibly can be, while protecting those critical intelligence sources and methods.
So then, just explain to our viewers, because this is the new frontier of terror. I mean, how imperative is it for the United States to find out who is responsible when it comes to cyber warfare?
Oh, it's essential to be able to attribute these attacks. And again, this is an entirely new domain. There are no rules of the game in the cyberspace. So as quickly as possible, it's imperative that with rogue regimes like North Korea, we make clear that attacks like this will be met with swift and severe retaliation. They've got to understand that the very high price they're going to pay for these kinds of attacks is just not going to make it worth it to them. This is the essence of deterrence. We've done it for centuries on the conventional battlefield, for decades on the nuclear battlefield, and now we've got to get about the very serious business of establishing real deterrence on the cyber battlefield.
Okay, I want to switch gears here, meantime, because there's a British ship escorted, basically escorting a Russian vessel, and it passed near UK territorial waters over Christmas. This is according to Britain's Defense Ministry, adding that Russian naval activity near Britain has increased in the holiday period as relations between Britain and Russia are strained over Moscow's annexation of Ukraine's Crimea. What does the accelerating patterns of Russia's military aggressiveness say about the Kremlin strategy, basically to create further conflict with NATO's borders?
Yeah, this is part of a pattern we've seen in recent years, not only at sea, but on land. It is highly dangerous, in most cases very unprofessional. They could easily escalate through miscalculation or accident into full-blown hostilities. I think this is really part of a systematic Russian pattern, not only to raise doubts about the firmness and unity of key Western institutions like NATO, but of the United States itself, which is, of course, the leader of the West, which makes it absolutely essential that we and our allies respond respond to these incidents very firmly while trying as best we can to ensure that they don't spiral out of control.
Right. And, you know, it's nothing new that relations between Britain and Russia are strained. I mean, that's been ongoing for quite some time. But after this latest incident, UK Defense Minister Gavin Williamson said in a statement basically he would, quote, not hesitate in defending our waters or tolerate any form of aggression. Moscow blames London for the poor state of relations between the two countries. It goes back and forth. Where does the U.S. fit in all of this, or does it? Or do we stay out?
We can't possibly stay out. We are committed by treaty, Article 5 of NATO, to come to the defense of Britain if Britain gets into a dust-up with the Russians. So we have got to be, as the leader of the NATO alliance, as the leader of the West, there together, mobilizing all our allies, again, very firmly, resolutely, but without trying to trigger and escalate this into a major crisis. We've got to let the Russians know that they face not just one member of NATO, they will face all of NATO if this continued aggression continues.
All right, John Hanna, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.